What's up, y'all? Back with another video on the Holy Paladin, doing some solo shuffle for the first time in a month. This is post-nerf, after we got our output and damage and mana nerfed. So the output, it wasn't a massive deal because we were really strong. I didn't get to play much in that 1 week that we were super OP, but the mana is actually a really big deal. Most of these solo shuffles I was going in, but I wasn't using Daybreak off cooldown, which I really, like, you'll see, I needed to use Daybreak a lot more often. I think it helps a lot, but you're really not going to win mana battles versus Resto Shamans and Mistweavers anyway, so, but yeah, I don't know, it kind of feels similar to last season, and really I'm just kind of knocking off the rust because I haven't played a lot of solo shuffle, especially since the rework, but I did want to start the grind to 2400 kind of like I did last season, do the same kind of series. And this one I started 800 rating and I farmed up almost 1000 rating. I was a little bit slow on that Hodge there. If I would have gone in a little sooner, he wouldn't have gotten the link, and it almost cost us. But I also noticed a lot of these games are going to really heavy dampening, and I was testing out denounce, so I'll call out like the big mistakes that I made in this one, because there were plenty. It was, you know, changing PvP talents and using Daybreak. Like, I needed to use Daybreak right here pretty much right away. Like, there's no reason for me to be holding Daybreak like this. And so yeah, again, like, I need to use Daybreak. There we go, I used the blessing. I was about to say I need to use the blessing and the Daybreak. But yeah, the new Holy Paladin, it does feel, you know, it still feels pretty good. It's definitely not as strong as it was, because I did do a few like 2v2s and 3v3s in that 1 week where it was really strong, and it was super nice. Now I will say, when I'm playing my Mistweaver, I was still beating Holy Paladins before the nerf, especially in 2v2, and now it just feels like you have a crazy edge. It feels like Mistweaver is the best healer right now in solo shuffle and 2s. I haven't played it in ranked 3s, so not sure about that. So right here, I do use Daybreak, and I'm completely dampening has ramped up to a pretty absurd amount. So I do have wings. He does get the clone, and the DK goes down. So kind of look at how much mana the shaman has. He was almost almost full mana. That was completely him. Yeah, I definitely think they overdid it on the mana nerf. I think our output did need to be nerfed because we were just, I mean, I was doubling healing in 3s, but as far as the mana, that just seems so overkill. But, you know, whatever. So this second round, again, there we go. I used Daybreak, but I'm just not using it enough off cooldown. It's one of those that, like, I'm learning more and more that I don't need to hold it. I need to just use it pretty much off cooldown. So right here I got up tiers. I gave the blessing to the boomkin, I believe. Could have been a mistake. I should have just given it to the warrior. And also 100% I needed to take cleanse the weak instead of denounce. I think denounce was useless in this one, so that combined with not using Daybreak off cooldown pretty much through this second match here, because I think we could have won it. We got Link really early. I've still got plenty of mana. I have used Sack, but I don't know. I just think, you know, if I'm running this build and I'm not going to be running Barrier of Faith, I just think that using Daybreak off cooldown is super important. So right here, I think he does get the Mass Dispel. Yeah, he gets the Mass Dispel on my bubble. They grip me in and blind me. And again, I just needed to use Daybreak already. I'm going to Hodge him here, and I tried to fake out the Thunderstorm, and he didn't fall for it. So the Boomkin does get precog here, and we're falling like super far behind. I do still have Sack available, so we have an out. But I have no bubble, no trinket, and in a lot of these, it's just, you're not going to be able to pick someone up when it gets to super heavy dampening. So I can't tell. I think we're at like almost 40% or like 36%, something like that. And I'm slowly starting to fall behind in mana, so I do have Sack available here. The druid's kind of across the map, so I do sack him. I got feared in an awkward position. He comes to me, which was really good. He used his little boomkin jump ability, whatever it's called, and my warrior got rooted, but then the damage broke him out. This is the DK's next to go, so again, now we're pretty much completely out of outs here. I am going to toss the blessing on him, and I used lay on hands, and you see his health didn't even move. So that's another thing. I needed to use lay on hands way before dampening ramped up this high. This was pretty much a throw. So you notice I have daybreak off cooldown. Like I need to use it like immediately right here. So yeah, this match just honestly did not play well all around. So yeah, there's no shot with dampening that high. So that's okay. That was one that was definitely winnable, and it's good to know, like, to recognize the mistakes that you make. Like again, using daybreak off cooldown in that scenario was pretty much the play, and also utilizing lay on hands a lot earlier to where it actually does something instead of saving it for the late. Here's another one where PvP choice, I didn't change my talent to cleanse the weak. Way better than denounce. The only time I should have been taking denounce is when I was against the warrior, so I can denounce the warrior. But versus this team, cleanse the weak's just way too good. So again, another misplay. I did dodge the thunderstorm that time, so I'm going to try and walk over here and blind him. I think it's going to get broken. No, it didn't. So it was just DR somehow. I don't have my DR tracker on, and TrueFi GCD also isn't working. Both those add-ons are still broken, so sorry I don't have my GCD tracker on here, but hopefully for the next video it'll be back up and running. Luckily Omnibar is still working. I need to move it to a better spot. A lot of the add-ons after the patch just got kind of destroyed. So right here we have like all the tempo. I'm denouncing the druid, which is, I mean, kind of okay. He can't crit and whatnot, but I do get cloned. I don't know if the priest still has any outs. He does swap, which I'm okay with. So we still have a lot of pressure. Again, look, I'm not using daybreak. Like, just I think we're still gonna win this one, but like, it's just super important. You can even use it offensively. He does grip me and my tears there, which was a good play by the DK. See if he tries to interrupt me. He missed the interrupt. He almost got it. So. I mean, right here, 100%. I should have used daybreak like 4 or 5 globals. I think I did start to utilize it better at the end of this match, but this was kind of earlier on in the session. My MMR fluctuated from like 2k all the way up to like 2280, and when I fought a Mistweaver at 2280, and it was horrible. Like, he just ran me out of mana every single time. So it's going to be interesting farming 2400 this season versus last season, because I didn't ever feel like yeah, mana was bad, but I never just felt like that was a strategy where one of the healers could just completely run me out of mana and I had no way to outplay it, whether it was playing offensively or whatever. So kind of interesting also that, you know, how heavy the dampening was getting in this one, which is kind of, it wasn't super high MMR. I think this one was like 2050 or so. And it definitely could have, like I said, the one loss could have been a win. So, but whatever. Still learning to kind of play the new build and messing around with stuff too. I'm not like, I don't know, I'm not completely sold, like giving up Barrier of Faith for the Reclamation talent. I think the Reclamation talent's really good, but I still need to like test around a little bit. So. This one was the DK and the Shadow Priest. I'm not sure who has the upper hand with this one, honestly. I would think we would, but it just depends on, like, I mean, again, look at the mana difference between me and the Shaman. It depends on, like, how many procs he gets and if they stand in his totems. And if these DPS know to, you know, kill Healing Tide and stuff like that. So. Right now we're doing fine. I do get root beamed. The priest was doing a good job of emptying bubbles and stuff like that. I do get the Hodge here. I was trying to dodge the thunderstorm, but he didn't do it, and he missed Link, and the druid does go down. So I don't know. That one again, you could have used daybreak more often. Kind of the story of this one. So if you're playing the new build, learn from my mistake. If you're in solo shuffle, you know, use Daybreak as often as you can. It's a 1 minute cooldown, so there's not really a point in holding it too much. It's kind of the same thing with tears. Like, you can extend tears with that talent where you have it up, you know, 70% of the time. So it's really important to use it almost off cooldown as well. Just has a longer cast. So right here I was really surprised that they went for the Death Knight. Seemed kind of odd. Also the Druid is like glitching all over the place. I think he's on a one of the other servers, Storm Rage or whatever. I was trying to get the blind there, but the priest feared me off, so not great. And then I'm just perpetually CC'd forever. He does kill the Side Fiend, which was really nice. So I think right here I might finally get to top him, but I do get silenced again. I do end up having to burn sack there. I kind of wish I would have lay on hands right there instead of sacked. Just gone ahead and got it. Like, again, holding it until heavy dampening is really just a waste of forbearance. Like, it's good to try and use it first and then use sack. It's almost one of the first like big cooldowns you want to use in solo shuffle, just because it becomes so useless later. So right here I do top the DK. They're doing all kinds of just spread damage, and now they're bursting the warrior. I noticed a lot in this queue session, I was having a hard time healing warriors. He got the MD on my bubble really fast. Wow. Yeah, that was unfortunate. I probably could have just bubbled as soon as I saw the beam come down. Yeah, that was unfortunate. So I don't know if that one, I think the previous one could have been a win if I utilized Daybreak better, but I'm not sure if that one was going to be a win. This is kind of a disaster here. I do remember this, where they were just at completely opposite ends of the map, and they were both losing the 1v1s. So this was like the disaster start to this one. So I did use Daybreak right here in the opener, and look, I'm able to top them both. So super important, but a very bad start. And so kind of the story in this one, if you want to take anything away from this match, is make sure you're choosing the correct PvP talents, and make sure you're utilizing your spec correctly. So not the greatest, but again, like, I'm still not kind of knocking off the rust, learning the new rework and whatnot. And I don't think it'll be a big issue hitting 2400, especially since, you know, we got up to 2270 MMR today after like one session. So I will say, if I queue into a bunch of Mistweavers though, maybe it will be really difficult, because that was the one today out of all the queues I had that was really, really bad. It just had no shot. So I don't know if that's going to be every Mistweaver. So I thought he was going to fear there, so I went ahead and sacked the Druid, but he didn't fear. And the Druid interrupts the Lightning Lasso, which is fine. I did have sack rolling, so right here we're about to have Tears up. We have Daybreak up again, so hopefully I cast Tears right when it's off cooldown. It doesn't look like I'm going to. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so there's Tears, and I go ahead and cast Daybreak. There we go. I probably shouldn't have used it right away. Went ahead and held it. Nice. I go ahead and denounce, turn around and use it. Yeah. So this is a much better round, at least. I'm getting the Glimmer up on the warrior, but he's going to be passively healing a lot, so probably not going to matter the little bit of damage that it does do. I can denounce him again, but I don't have sack for this fear. I do go ahead and bubble. He's going to MD it again. He was really, really quick at them MDs. He must have had a weak aura or something telling him when I was bubbling. And Shaman tries to pull them over, and it doesn't work. And we're starting to get into the heavy dampening where no one's healing is doing anything. We're actually behind. Like, it's crazy that I'm not able to pick him up with Tears rolling. It's kind of shocking. He does get the Stormbolt. We do have an out now in Hand of Sacrifice, so I'm just trying to hold it to the last second, and I do go ahead and do it. He clones him, and I see he disperse. Psyfiend is out. There we go. He killed Psyfiend. So right here it gets pretty sketchy. I go ahead and utilize the bop, and we're now split again. I really just, yeah, there we go. I need to focus on picking up my druid. I'm not really worried about this warrior killing me, because if I pull him over into the corner and the druid just DPSs him, we win. So they're really falling behind. So, and I ran out of mana, but we won right there at the end. So definitely an interesting match. Let me know what you guys think. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know if you've been enjoying the Holy Paladin rework after the nerfs, and if you've been having the issues with the mana. Peace.